Yo, yo, yo. Oh no, we can't forget the shades. There we go. That's much better. Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday. Sorry, I'm all discombobulated right now. I started the stream and then I realized I forgot to update the title. So the tweet's actually wrong. We're actually in episode 110. So I hope you guys are having a good Tuesday. Welcome to Tree City Live episode number 110. Got a couple things to talk about today. Gonna keep it brief. Let me know how everything sounds, if the music's too loud, if my mic's too soft. Hopefully everything sounds good. Just to kick things off, if you could come over to the Twitter, give the stream tweet a retweet, try to get some more hash heads in here. And yeah, we got a little action going on in the chat. What's up, Tazenian? What's up, Clay Bentley? What's up, Janet? What's up, CK? What's up, Joseph? Heavy hitters in the chat. It's CK and Joseph and Tazenian and Clay and Janet. What's up, Rolando? Yeah, hope you guys are having a good day. But as always, like to start off on the crypto bubbles over here. I actually went through and added some new music, trying to keep the playlist fresh. So that I'm like, ooh, this is a new song. I kind of get sick of hearing the same 20 or 30 songs over and over. So I had to update the playlist. But we got kind of a green day with the altcoins today. Got some big movers, things moving 10-15%. Nice little rebound after the pullback, after the ETF news. Bitcoin's definitely cooling off still after the ETF, but it's nice to see some altcoin movement. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin, see how it's holding up on our chart. And yeah, we have two green candles on the daily in a row. That's exciting to see after these big red candles off the ETF. It ended up being to sell the news event, but not completely. We're holding 40K strong, and we're really just, I mean, if you look at the chart, we're ranging sideways. We have and this is on the daily chart, we have a solid support there. And I think as long as we stay above this 41-42 range, we're going to be looking solid. So that's good to see. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. Yeah, we got a lot of green candles on the 4 hour, and we have some interesting Bitcoin news we're going to cover. I actually made a new setup so we can go through some tweets together. We'll take a look at the news. Call it Twitter time or something. Twitter time with Tree City West. So yeah, we got a lot of green candles on the 4 hour. That's good to see. See slightly moving up on the 1 hour. RSI is starting to creep up there on the 1 hour. But let's go back and take a look at the deck screener. I saw we had a bit of a pump for Zen. What's up, Shaka Vibes? Welcome. Thank you for the node video. Without the help, I would have got stuck on Go 1.13. Yeah, for sure. That's the most frustrating part, for sure, is getting the correct version of Go. Yo, thank you so much for the support.
All right. Let's fucking hash.
Shout out to Shaka. Thank you so much. But let's go take a look here, see what's happening around the ecosystem. We got Zen up 6% today. That's good to see. Been seeing a lot of these big buys. Oh man, I say that as we see these huge sells. Someone just sold a lot of Zen. I wonder if this is MEXC. I know MEXC recently stopped trading, and that's kind of funny right there. Just someone selling $5,000 over and over and over the span of like 20 minutes. That's a lot of Zen. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. About 75 bill of Zen right now. Just being dumped. About an hour ago. And these green candles took it. I mean, there's not much movement there on the daily. That's good to see. Zoom into the 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, you can't, it really ate that. It really ate that 75 billion Zen sell. And it's just cruising on up, sitting at 6047. kind of had this wick down to the 6035. That's my buy line, but we never actually went under it. So I never ended up buying more Zen. We're just kind of staying above it. And now we're really getting some moves upward. And I think we're starting to feel that supply shock because people haven't been minting Zen, you know, for the last maybe 3 or 4 months, just because the gas has been so high. You know, right now gas feels low, but it's actually sitting at 32 Gwei, which is extremely expensive to mint Zen at right now. So I don't think very many people are minting Zen, and that's causing this supply shock to push the price upward. You'll scoop every time we hit. Hell yeah. I might have to raise mine up there. I'm sitting at 6035 and it's just not coming down. I just haven't bought any Zen. I know I'm claiming my mints. You know, I got a couple billion on the sideline, but it's good to see this pump today. Good to see some price action for Zen, even on the news that MEXC was stopped. And that's MEXC stopping leverage trading is actually good for Zen. Like, people won't be able to, you know, load up their shorts and their longs and completely wreck the price. Hopefully this was MEXC exiting. I wonder if we could see that. Let's see if it says. I'm not trying to be that guy that's snooping around, but yeah, this has this wallet has 50 ETH chilling in it. That's interesting. It's got some Zen torrents though, so it might not be. Look at the OP Zen chart. Yeah, let's take a look. Switch over to the I always say the playlist, the Zen playlist. Yeah, up 8%. That's good to see. Looking juicy, looking juicy. And that's another one that's going to be feeling that supply shock. I don't know, you know, this might just be some natural price action. Ethereum's moving up right now. If we go back to trading view, pull up the ETH chart. I'm kind of curious how ETH is doing right now. And yeah, I mean, look at that. This 1 hour chart is green candle after green candle, 4 hours, so many green candles. ETH got as high as 27.17 off the ETF hype, but since then it's just been cooling off, but it's actually moving up against Bitcoin. And a lot of people are talking about the ETH BTC chart, which looks like it found a bottom. So if we really zoom out here, I think it's on like the 5-day or the weekly, you can really see. It's not very clear. Come on, go up there. But this is looking bullish for ETH. I mean, it's been dumping against Bitcoin. You know, you've really what? How did that? What just happened? How did I move the chart into the RSI? That's crazy. Whoa. But you can, man, that's completely. I don't even know how I did that. Just lost my train of thought there. But yeah, I mean, for the last year or so, you would have been better off just holding Bitcoin because the price of ETH against Bitcoin has just been tanking up until the last couple weeks, which is interesting. Right when the Bitcoin ETF launches, now Ethereum is starting to move against the price of Bitcoin. So these last 2 weeks, these are some thick price action with some big green candles. And that typically means that ETH is about to go on a run. When it hits these bottoms like this, like over here, mid 2022, it just completely exploded against Bitcoin after that. So that might be one of these moves where we come back up to the, you know, the 0.075 or the 0.08 on the ETH BTC chart. What's up, Craig Crypto? Yeah, we're just checking out the charts. Things are kind of moving, especially over on Zen. Really, all of these are moving. Look at Moonbeam Zen up 23%. People buying the low liquidity. That's crazy. Got Phantom Zen 6%, Matic Zen 6%, Zen 6%. That's good. That's good to see. Let's go back to the main watch list, see what we got here. Titan X chilling out, down 5% on the day. Zone up 2%, still ranging sideways. It's still in our little zone here. And actually, it looks like it's making some higher lows. That's promising. Let's get rid of this guy. So this is starting to feel like a little bottom. Hopefully it continues to hold these higher lows. See DBZen taking a little dip. Got as high as $2.23. Currently sitting at $1.08. So kind of cooling off. People are waiting on Mastodon. What's it going to mean? What is it? What are the tokenomics? How's it going to work? How much Zen is it going to burn and buy? And You know, what's the holdup really? So that's kind of why we're seeing the price action here. Now I believe I'm still scooping these. I mean, we really it looks like we really found a bottom here, right at $1. So this might be the new, you know, psychological low. People are starting to get their confidence back, and every time it dips right here, right at $1, it's getting eaten up again. So that's kind of interesting to see. Might want to set some limit orders. See, Avalanche DBZen up 2%. That was making some big moves, but people are taking profits on that. Binance DBZen down 11%. And yeah, it's kind of falling through. I mean, really, it's still on the uptrend though. If we just move that there, still making higher lows. It's good to see. Phantom-matic. I've been kind of curious about Pulse Chain DBZen. I've really been thinking about scooping up some of this because I mean, this looks like a bottom, right? Like, but it got as low as 3 cents and it's currently sitting at 17 cents. I feel like I should wait for it to come back under 10 cents. What's up, Penny? Welcome. So, but I'm really looking at some Pulse Chain DBZen. And then yeah, we got Shaka in the chat. Where's I believe I have TGC under my Zen alts. So we got PTGC taking a little dip, down 8%, but this has just been absolutely mooning lately. Definitely might be a good time to grab some of this. Like, yeah, I was kind of fooling around when I drew this chart. I'm like, yeah, we'll get back to all-time highs. But I mean, really, if you just kind of fudge it up a little bit, that really made that move. Kind of found a bottom here. And this is one of the shout out to all the Zen people. If you burn some Zen for TG Zen on Ethereum, you got a nice airdrop with a PTGC, and you are sitting pretty right now. As long as you held it. You know, I actually sold most of mine back here. Now I'm curious. I'll put myself on blast. Where did I sell? Did I sell the bottom? We'll see. It was funny because I forgot I used a burner wallet. So I didn't think I got my airdrop, and I sat for months and months. And then one day it showed up like on my list. And I was like, oh shit, I used that wallet. I didn't realize it was in that wallet. So let's see. I have no reason to do this. I'm just putting myself on blast right now. Okay, so yeah, it didn't even show up. I was trying to see when I sold. But I actually staked some as well, so I didn't sell my whole bag. I took some profits, and then I put it back in. I kept like probably $25, and then I ended up staking it. You see the live stream with Crypto Kindness? And yeah, I did, for sure. That's good. I saw they were on with Corey Costa too. So that's awesome to see. You know, that's what you like to see from a team, making all the right moves, getting out there, you know, talking to different channels. They actually, I don't really do interviews, but they asked me if they wanted to come on the show. And I might have to do that. Same with Zenify. Zenify wanted to come on the show too. And I've just never really done that before. So I'm like, do I really want to do that? Oh shit, that's the wrong one. Let's see here. But I should. I mean, I really should expand. I always just do this to talk crypto. You know, I've never really thought about interviews and, you know, AMAs and you know, trying to do that type of thing with my channel. So I got some of my TGs and I took some profits, but then I staked some of it. Gonna let this thing reload here. Wrong wallet's connected. Motherfucker. That was a good stream with bruh. Yeah, he's my only guest ever. Was Crypto bruh. That was a good stream. Fun times for sure. Alright, so now we got the correct wallet. So I ended up staking, you know, some of this TGC, and now this stake is worth like, so it's 10 million. So it's not currently worth $180 as it hits new all-time highs. But I locked it until my birthday in May. So this is kind of locked up here, but I am getting these rewards. And then I forget if it was Shaka or Penny, but someone told me to claim on the rewards and compound them. So that's what I ended up doing. And now I have this claimable TGC earned from staking. Claimable TGC earned from blocking. So I don't know if these are different. Stake withdrawal. So I'm just kind of keeping it in here. I'm just gonna claim everything in May. But that's crazy, right? This was $20 when I staked it in November 7th. You know, I basically kept like $25. Now this stake is currently worth $180, and it's kind of that forced delayed gratitude. Like I could take a 30% fee and still be way up, but now I'm curious to see where this goes. Now that I know more about the project and their liquidity pools and how they're kind of spreading it around, and the devs are still active, you know, after a couple months, it seems like a solid project. Solid little meme coin. You know, they have the DAO and the things they're doing. It's a cool little community. So shout out to them for sure. 40x, isn't that crazy? Especially when you think about it, it was off the XEN you burned. So technically it was free. You only paid for gas. Like that's so wild to me. That's so wild to me. So such an awesome part of being in the XEN community. So yeah, just to pivot, I kind of wanted to experiment with something here with this trying out this new thing. So let me cut over to this one. And then if I go to Twitter, yeah, that's pretty cool, right? This Bitcoin thing's a little much. Yeah, that's better. Cool, so now I have this thing where I can go through tweets and you guys can read them easier. So let's talk about some things. Let's talk about some news. So first thing, shout out to Jack Levin. He announced that there was over 420 validator node registrants over the weekend. So these are people signing up to be a node on the testnet. I think that's awesome. I think that's a lot. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of validators, especially for just a testnet that, you know, it's not necessarily incentivized or anything. So in other news, they also demonstrated 30,000 TPS of XEN blocks EVM hash insertion speed improvement using rollups. So what this means in English, miners produce hashes, XEN blockchain sequencers roll those hashes into sealed blocks, and then those blocks hit on every node in the network, ensuring decentralization and immutability. Each sealed block can be read by the EVM and contains up to 1,000 proof of work hashes. So I guess before it was like a 1-to-1 thing where like each block had a proof of work hash, but now that they're doing rollups with that, they can do 1,000 hashes in one block. And it's kind of apparently it adds 30,000 transactions per second to the blockchain. So that's pretty awesome. That's some interesting Twitter stuff. And then after that, he actually added on to that tweet. So the airdrop is in progress to the first 150 registrants. So there's some, if you wanted to participate and be a validator, you can now, and if you signed up, if you're in the chat, you know, if you're participating, they actually airdropped 100,000 XN to you, 100,010. So you get some gas fees because you need 100,000 to stake, and then the extra 10 is just for the gas fees for the transactions. So if you did register, they're starting to send out the transactions now. So that's really cool to see. And then shout out to Joseph in the chat. He's thrilled to share his XEN.pub guide for beginners and pros on how to set up the full and read-only X1 testnet validator node. So go follow them, XEN.pub, on Twitter. If you're learning, it's an awesome guide. They're using the GitHub, and he makes it extremely easy. He also has his one-liner for the miner. I know a lot of people use that. He's an awesome resource for the XEN community. So shout out to you, Joseph. For sure.
All right, let's fucking hash.
So yeah, let's build a decentralized future together. So this is awesome. You can see he has the how to set up your testnet validator, and then Zensu says it himself. Joseph never sleeps. I love it. So if you're interested in learning, you can definitely come over to the GitHub here. We'll take a look at that after we wrap up the tweets. And then I thought this was kind of interesting too. Jack tweeted this out. Germany leads with 53 deployed nodes. I feel like this is my fault because I'm telling everybody to use Contabo. And now everybody's nodes are running on Contabo because it's cheap. So if you bought a node and you're running it on Contabo, you're one of the German, unless you paid extra. So I actually paid extra. I'm paying like an extra $5 a month to have mine hosted in St. Louis. So I'm probably this guy over here. While everyone else is in Germany. So it is kind of important. We don't want to be centralized in one data center. And so if they have the option, and if you want to diversify, you can actually move your VPS to different data centers, and you just pay an extra fee. You know, you go to their partners' data centers and all that. So I think it was like $5 to move it to St. Louis from Germany. But I thought that was kind of funny. Germany leads with 53 deployed nodes. Fancy logos are starting to come up as nodes. I'll have to check that out. That's interesting. That's cool. We're gonna have to get the Hashhead logo in there. Hey, that's my Zen map. No. Yeah, Contabo leads. 40 nodes is the same is made by Polish people. That's funny. Craig Crypto says, I'm in LA, but my node's in New York. I didn't want to wait for but I wish it said LA. Yeah, I feel it. Or do you? I mean, it's kind of good that it's not like where you're actually at. That's why I recommend using a VPS. I don't want to, and I that's already happened. I already doxed my IP address and my home location by running a node already, so it's not a big deal. But I'm more so worried about the maliciousness. Like, people might try to connect, and they might try to like brute force your SSH, and if you don't have a strong password or you have weak security on your home network, they might be able to do something intrusive. So when you're running a node with the full like HTTP RPC, you're basically saying, hey, connect to me. So I'd rather have them connect to something outside rather than my home. But that's just me. You know, if you know what you're doing, keep your network locked down, you should be fine. So kind of switching over to the Bitcoin stuff, I thought this was interesting. Right? I saw this right before I came on, but the U.S. Treasury announces that only businesses do not need to report digital asset transactions under the 6050I until the Treasury and IRS issue regulations. So the Treasury and IRS announced that businesses do not have to report certain transactions involving digital assets. So that makes me wonder, like, if I have an LLC, like, am I able to not report those transactions? Or is it like a certain C Corp or something? That's kind of interesting. Have to look into that one. The fact that it says that you don't have to do it until there are regulations make me feel like they'll have regulations next week. But we'll see. And then a shout out to Fred Krueger. Always like to listen to his insight on Bitcoin. And I think he sounds like he's a little deflated almost. I don't know if deflated's the right word, but he seems like he was shooting really high at first. He thought maybe we might see like 60 or 70K in the first week or something. I'm not sure, but now he seems to be kind of, for the record, I do think Bitcoin's going to melt faces this year. So he's kind of adjusting his expectations. I know it hasn't happened yet. The grayscale selling wasn't on my bingo card, but the ETF money is coming. Mark my words. I'm much more into Excellion and Adam Camp on these than these skeptics. For the record, the impact of the halving is exactly 450 Bitcoin a day. The impact of this new ETF in the first 2 days has been 10,000 Bitcoin a day. It won't continue at this level, but it's going to be much more on average than 450 per day. The higher order bit is the ETF, not the halvening. So that is kind of interesting, kind of an interesting perspective there. And that made me question, like, so what's happening with the flows with Bitcoin, with this ETF? What does he mean, the grayscale? So I started doing a little digging. So the latest day 3 volume so far is 500 million for the newborn 9, which is healthy. I guess those are, the 9 new ETFs. About the same drop-off rate as BITO, which again was the most successful organic ETF launch in history. IBIT keeping lead. So when you start to look at these and realize these are Bitcoin that they're talking about, these are inflows of 500 Bitcoin, 400 Bitcoin per day, total minus Grayscale, they bought 1,400 Bitcoin like across the ETFs. That's insane. That's so much Bitcoin. Each one is $40,000 and they bought 1,400 of them across the ETFs. And that's including these outflows from Grayscale. So the total Grayscale actually sold 579 Bitcoin, and they've just been dumping Bitcoin on Coinbase for the last couple days. So that's kind of interesting. Oops. So within the first week of the ETF, there's been 10 billion in volume in the first 3 days. There are 500 ETFs launched in 2023. They did a combined 450 million in volume. So think about that difference. 450 million to 10 billion. That's 10,000 million. That's 450 million to 10,000 million. That's insane. The best one did 45 million. And many have had months to get going. IBIT alone is seeing more activity than the entire 23 freshman class of ETFs. It's just crazy. These are millions. So 9,000 million is 9 billion. That's insane. And then there's this Grayscale. Everyone's looking at Grayscale like, God, you guys are going to regret that. So Grayscale transfers another 9,000 Bitcoin to Coinbase, and you can see it all on chain. It comes from the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. People are finally taking their profits on the GBTC, and they're just dumping the Bitcoin in Coinbase. Each one of these transactions is 1,000 Bitcoin for a total of 9,000 Bitcoin. Each transaction is for 42 million times 9. Crazy. So yeah, that's kind of the new setup I'm working on to get the Twitter going. So let's go back to the main view. So Dank, what's up? I hate you guys for enticing me to mine. Sent the GitHub to the big dogs in Huntsville today. Oh shit. How much you think hardware would cost to run a node? That's a good question. I mean, the node hardware is actually pretty cheap. It depends on what kind of node. So there's different types of nodes. If you're really just trying to get data, like, run an archive node, you really don't need much. You need a lot of fast storage. But if you're trying to be like a participating node or a validator, you're going to want good hardware so you can keep up with the speed of the network. If your processing is too low, too slow, or you don't have enough storage, you're not going to be able to process the transactions or store the entire blockchain. So there's different types of nodes, and I would definitely take some time to figure out. Like, I have an Orange Pi. I've kind of been covering that. I loaded up a node, but the processing on it is so slow that it doesn't actually show on the website. So that kind of sucks. It's not really... I'm basically just downloading a copy of the website, and it says it's participating and downloading from the peers and everything on the network, but it's so slow to respond that it's not actually... It's like it's stuck in the past. Like it's so slow that it's still downloading the transactions as the blockchain's already moved on to the next one. So that kind of sucks about the Orange Pi. But I wanted to go check out this GitHub from Joseph. I haven't taken a look. So this is my first time seeing this. So let's dive in here. So the XEN node instructions. This repository is dedicated to hosting comprehensive instructions for setting up and running both read-only and full validator nodes in the XEN blockchain. So yeah, these are instructions for the read-only node and the full validator node. So the read-only node is there's no stake. You can just run it, And this you can run on any computer. You can run on you could probably run it on a phone or a Raspberry Pi even. You could run it on an Orange Pi. And that basically just downloads a copy of the database, and then other nodes or other peers can download off of you. But you can't submit blocks. You can't write to the chain. It's a read-only. That's what makes it a read-only. So your peers will look to you to download an archive copy of the chain, but you can't submit transactions. To be able to submit transactions, you need to be a full validator node where you actually have a stake in the chain, and you can produce the blocks as a block producer. So the primary focus is on the testnet phase of the XEN blockchain. Detailed guidelines cater to users interested in participating in this phase, either by running a read-only node for network support or by setting up a full validator node with more active involvement. As the XEN blockchain progresses towards the mainnet launch, we'll update this repository with relevant instructions and resources to facilitate an effortless transition and setup for the mainnet. That's exciting. So yeah, he's basically just saying this is software for testing the validator. So there's a link to the .md file. These are readme files, basically a text file with some instructions how to set up your XEN testnet validator. Redstone Arsenal. So requirements: advanced or expert Linux knowledge, Ubuntu preferred. I wouldn't say you need to be an expert. You just need to be an expert with Google or ChatGPT. You need to be able to get the right commands and troubleshoot the errors. But you don't necessarily need to be an expert in Linux. But yeah, you do want to be careful, especially if you're doing a validator. I wouldn't just be throwing around 100,000 XN. That's going to probably be worth like $50,000 to $100,000. So you don't want to just lose that by misloading your Ubuntu server and losing your keys or anything like that. You want to come in with a plan, just like your wallet. You want to back up your keys to your validator and keep everything safe. So step 1, order cloud Ubuntu Linux. So this is suggesting using the cloud server, and the specs are pretty hefty. These are pretty big specs. So they're recommending an 8-core processor with 64 gigs of RAM. These two requirements alone, especially the 64 gigs of RAM, is probably going to run you $200 to $300 a month for a cloud VPS, plus the 2x 960 gigabyte NVMEs. I imagine it's 2x so you can run it in parallel in like a RAID 0, and that way if one drive fails, you'll have the other drive. It's a one-to-one copy, I imagine, or maybe you'll just need 2 terabytes of storage. I'm not sure. And then I thought this was interesting that it's dual NICs, so you have a 10 gigabit NIC and a 1 gigabit NIC. So these are how fast your network is. So they're recommending a very fast one and then just a regular one. So choosing the optimal cloud service can be... Oh, that's nice. So he's actually touching on... That's good. This is real research. This is what the people really need to know. So choosing optimal cloud service can be challenging, as it largely depends on your cloud provider's preferences and budget. Nevertheless, referencing Ethereum mainnet stats reveals that Amazon, Hetzner, and OVH are among the top 3 favored services. This trend might change in the future, but it could serve as a useful guide in selecting a suitable provider. So yeah, you always hear about AWS, also Google Apps, Microsoft Azure, Hetzner, and OVH. These are all big players. Yeah, let's take a look. So what do we got here? So we got Amazon, Hetzner, OVH. Of course, fourth is Google Cloud that I just mentioned. Got Oracle, TerraSwitch, Contabo, Microsoft Azure. Latitude is another one. I think that's the one that Jack mentioned, was Latitude. Now, Hetzner, isn't that the one that Solana? They shut down all the Solana. Yeah, so you'll want to be careful with Hetzner. So in a recent example, server provider Hetzner abruptly blocked Solana validators from using its services. Over 1,000 validators and 20% of the active stake went offline in a matter of hours. The network remained fully online. So that's kind of interesting, as Hetzner decided to block validators for Solana. but maybe they changed their ways. Anyways, so step 2, create a MetaMask wallet. So once you have your cloud set up, you basically create your MetaMask wallet. Recommends connecting it to a hardware wallet. If you want to create a dedicated brand new software wallet from scratch. And I also recommend definitely using a hardware wallet, especially if you're running a validator. Because I don't think a lot of people realize that when you run a hot wallet like MetaMask or really any browser extension, your wallet is stored in your app data folder in your My Documents. So it may be encrypted and you may have to jump through some hoops to decrypt it, but you can decrypt your wallet if you get that file. And it's literally just sitting on your hard drive. And that's how people get compromised. That's the kind of the newest scam right now are these game developers. They'll send you a DM on Twitter and they'll say, hey, come test my game. Here's a link to download the game. And you download the game and it's a real game and you're playing it. And the next thing you know, all your crypto's gone. And you're like, what the hell? I didn't connect my wallet. I didn't even open MetaMask or anything. What they do is they grab those files from your temp files, from your app data and your documents folders. And then they have your seed phrase. They could just load that up and decode it in MetaMask and boom, then they have access to your wallet. They can't do that if you use a hardware wallet though. So that's one thing you want to be mindful of. Using a hot wallet is just that. It's hot. That means it's always connected to the internet and there's always a chance it could be compromised. So when you have a cold wallet, it's not connected to anything. It's not constantly on. It's harder to steal. Anyways, so yeah, step 2, create your wallet. Switch to the MetaMask X1 testnet. Step 3, fill out the X1 validator form. So another Google form, that's good to see. A nice way to collect data, and you saw there's over 420 applicants, and they're sending out the testnet now, the testnet XN now. So you need at least 100,000. So if you fill out the application, you get accepted. They'll send you 100,010. Then you have a little gas to work with as well. I'm curious. Let me see if I actually applied a second time. I wonder. Because what I'd like to do is set up one from scratch. So let's see if we got in. No, we didn't. Oh wait, we did. That was cool. That was a delayed reaction there. Oh shit. So I actually filled out with all the ZenMap stuff. So I used that Twitter account and email address and all that. So now I can do it from scratch. So you can expect a validator video soon. That's exciting. That's really cool. Okay, cool. We'll have to use Joseph's guide. And the nice thing about configuring a validator is it's not any different than a regular node that we've been playing with for the last I don't want to say 6 months, but last couple months. It's basically just running the same Go commands with a couple extra steps. So as this guide says, you run the apt update, you install Golang, you install wget, you install Git to download from GitHub, you install make to compile the program, then you clone the Go X1. You make sure you have the right version of Go, and then you run the make X1, and then you build it. You set the little variable, and then this is where it differs. So the setup is the same. You run through the same process, but then you have a read-only mode and a validator mode, and the only difference is how you run the command. So the read-only mode is the X1 sync mode. It has the ZenBlocks endpoint and all that. For the validator key, there's a couple extra steps where you type X1 validator new. You have to create a key. That is your private key, so you back up the private key. Then you stake the 100,000 XN using MetaMask. Once it's staked in the contract, then you can create the validator with your public key, and we'll run through this. I'm excited to make a video about this. This will be a good one. And then you'll notice it's still the same X1 -- testnet command, but it has some extra flags in it, like your validator ID, your validator public key, and then you have the private key, and you keep your private key safe. You guard it with your life. And yeah, so then it works. So this is nice. I like how nice and simple this is, and I like how he talks about the cloud providers. That's really an angle. A lot of us are just kind of left to fend for ourselves. It's like, okay, go buy a VPS or a cloud server. It's like, where? What do I do? But this is a nice list right here. You got a bunch of different providers: Amazon, Hetzner, OVH, Google Cloud. Now we can research these and figure out what's going to have the best options for us. You know, but we also want to be diversified. So we don't want everybody using Contabo and having 50 of our 100 nodes in one place. We need to not only diversify geographically, but also diversify among the companies. So that way, if Amazon goes down, we still have Hetzner and OVH and Google Cloud. And if Google Cloud goes down, we still have Contabo and Azure and Latitude. And that's really where it begins to be decentralized and strong. And you build up the tolerance and strengthen the network. It's not good when all of your nodes are hosted at AWS. A lot of people talk about Pulse Chain and Ethereum and things like Polygon. How, like, if AWS were to go down, then how centralized is it at that point? So it's important as a community that we understand these things. But yeah, this is solid. I'm excited to go through this. We'll run through this and I'll make a good video. Shout out to Joseph. Shout out to Dank.
All right, let's fucking hash.
Hell yeah. $4.99. Thank you, sir. So I want to see this. So can we change our images? Let's go see. Let's go take a look. So this is the new Explorer. Let's see where we're up to 29 validators. Hell yeah. 900,000 blocks, 18,000 accounts, and 1.6 million transactions. This is good to see. We got nice mix-up of nodes and validators. Got 109 total nodes, and 29 of those are validators. See blocks flying in. And then let's go check this out. I want to see if I can upload, if I can name it. I want to name it Hashhead. Add a little some things. All right, so I'm earning. So this is kind of cool. So I actually delegated to some of you guys that are in the ZenBlocks chat. So validators 4, 10, and 14. I think one of these is Og. One of them's Jack. I'm not sure who else was there. But basically through 69 XN and anybody that was in the chat. And now I'm earning XN. So for only staking 69, I've earned 0.14. And I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to set up a node or a validator. I basically just click stake, and then you can delegate to certain validators. It's pretty awesome. And then I'm also running validator number 8, and I have 212 pending rewards. So let's go ahead and claim these rewards. Then what I can do is I can go. So who's running a validator here? Cray, what number are you? I'll delegate to you. Yeah, anybody who's running a validator, if you give me your number, I'll delegate some stake in you right now. Have you tried to make any updates to your validator? No, I haven't. I'm terrified. I'm worried too. Hell yeah, that's what's up. Well, if you need any help with it, let me know. Forta blocks. That's funny. So how can I change? Let's see. I wonder if Jack has to do it on the back end or something. Let's see, we got some transactions. Maybe it's on the contract. Let's go look at the contract. So there's Forta blocks, and then there's Zen Crypto and Zen.pub. Dodge Zen, where you at, bro? I need your help. Then we got Dav in maintenance. Zurich 12. And then here I am, unknown. It's a good question. How do I haven't really looked into that. I want to see if there's anything in the... Oops. No, I'm not seeing anything there. Huh. Now I'm curious. Now I want to know how to name my validator. What's up, Howler? I can see a couple of them are named, but so this is mine, validator ID 8. Oh, maybe I have to be connected with that private key. I bet that's what it is. Well, we'll do that later. Cool. Well, that's fun. So yeah, you can see this is really there's a lot happening really fast. So I definitely recommend coming over to Zen Pub on Twitter as the quick guide on the GitHub for the not only the validator setup, but also if you want to test just setting up a regular node or read-only node. Definitely awesome guide for that. I also had the video. You can kind of see my struggle trying to get the correct version of Go. You need to get version 1.2.15 installed, I believe, or we'll just say 1.2. But by default, it wants to install 1.13, and it just doesn't seem to work properly. So you can see my struggles, how to get that updated, proper way to do that. Yeah, what else we got going on? Shout out to Zen Crypto Store, as always. Rocking the hat right now. But it's an Ohio winter right now. They got the beanies in the store. Definitely clutch for sure. I appreciate the Christmas package. That was awesome. Shout out to you guys. Definitely hit up zencryptostore.com for all your Zen merch needs. They're doing it the right way. They design all their merch. They actually, hey, look at that guy. That's great. They actually have the presses and the printers and they're not just drop shipping it from Printful like I was. They're actually designing and building the stuff, and it's all custom packaging with custom labels, and they're really building a brand and doing it the right way. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to the Zensei. And then also over the weekend I went on a little shopping spree at Magic Eden. So I'll show you what I got here. Nothing too crazy, but I got a couple Garys. I thought this was perfect for the here, we'll go through all of these. So the first thing I grabbed were these Garys. I thought these were funny. It's just a bunch of memes of Gary. You know, I thought the orange background was cool too. I just thought this was cool. It's not. I don't think this is going to be anything crazy, but I just like the art a lot. I like how it looks. I kind of have a thing against Gary Gensler, so definitely need some official Tree City West sunglasses. Hey.
That's for the DGNs and OGs.
That was so loud. And then I also grabbed this Block Legend. I've kind of been trading these around. You know, I bought a couple of them, then the price ran way up. I sold the top, and then they came back down, and then I bought this guy. It's just kind of an interesting one. I think these ones are cool. It's sub 10 million inscription number, and it's just kind of a interesting little ordinal. I thought these were kind of stupid, but it was a free mint from a project I already own, Node Pepe, so shout out to those guys. And then there was also this guy, the Pepe. It's kind of a cool recursive. You can see all the sub modules right in Magic Eden. Thought that was kind of interesting. And then the Breakout by Chain Virus. I thought this one was so cool too. How do I... Yeah, this is sick. So this is the Chain Virus NFT, and I feel so bad for this guy. I saw this tweet earlier. He mentioned he was playing around in Sparrow Wallet, and he accidentally sent his first inscription to Coinbase with all his regular Bitcoin. So this is why you got to be careful with Bitcoin. It's not really this whole ordinal thing isn't really it's kind of scary to deal with when you start talking about losing sats and inscribing over the wrong sats and sending sats, receiving them, and you know, mixing up all your sats. So I thought this was kind of funny. One day in the future, someone will send Bitcoin from Coinbase and receive a bunch of OG grails, a Block 9 Satoshi with 1 blessed and 2 cursed glitched artworks. Signal my first ever solo inscription and the grandparent of all my works. He sent it to Coinbase on accident. Be careful messing about with Sparrow Wallet is all I can say. Maybe one day Coinbase starts recognizing ordinals inscriptions and it comes home. So I feel so bad for this guy. He made this art, and then he accidentally was using Sparrow Wallet and sent it to Coinbase on accident. Like, oh, you just feel so bad. Like, oops, I just sent all my art with my sats, and now it's gone forever. And like, Coinbase could they could send a couple sats back, but they won't be able to identify the trillions of sats they have and send you the right number back. It's just, feel bad for him. What's up, Nomad? But I did grab so that's the guy that made this, kind of this glitchy inscription. He has some really cool ones. So I'm curious what he comes back with. Hopefully this inspires him. Hopefully he doesn't hate Bitcoin after this. But oh, I saw this earlier. I wonder if the mempool came down a bit. This is actually really sick. All right, so this will be the last thing before we wrap it up. Can't do cursed anymore, right? Yeah, exactly. You can't make new ones. The old ones still exist, but you can't make new ones. Oh man, this thing is just destroying my computer right now. Well, what I was going to show you is this actually interacts with your mouse. So you can actually drag this around and like make it grow and like turn it inside out with your mouse wheel. Do all this crazy shit, but it doesn't seem to want to do it when I'm streaming. I'm about to go grab one of these. These are $10. That's pretty cool. I hope I have enough. Oh, my UTXOs are all fucked up. Let's see if we can inscribe this real quick. Okay. Cool. Let's head over to the mempool. Mempool must be cheap right now. Did I check out Terraforms? Nah. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, if that's what he was talking about in the Sunday review, I did. Yeah, I was listening. I was kind of in and out of that space yesterday with that one. What was it? 113. Super interesting stuff. Cool. All right, so I just minted this. Mempool's only 50 right now, so that's pretty interesting. What happened here? A single transaction pushed through. For 0 sats per VB. Is that real? What happened here? Why is this block empty? That's interesting. An empty block. We just had an empty block. What the fuck? Here's what they're expecting, and then here's just this one little transaction. Huh. That's weird. 0 sats per VB. That's weird. That just happened right when I submitted my transaction. Interesting. So how this works with Bitcoin, so I actually paid for it. So now I have to wait 10 minutes for this block to get confirmed. Once it gets confirmed and they confirm receipt of the payment, then they send the ordinal back, which takes another 10 or 15 minutes at least. Sometimes it takes hours. Like if the mempool went up to like 100 right now, I'd probably not get it until tomorrow. And that's the one thing that's kind of shitty about Bitcoin. It's also my fault. I only set this at a 51 sats per VB. Right now it's going for 50, so I should be good. But if this spikes up, I'll just be moved back to the line, and it's going to take forever to get this. So yeah, I'm trying not to do too much on Bitcoin with the ordinals. I definitely FOMO into NFTs, you know, especially on things like Cardano. But it's so easy on Bitcoin just to throw my Bitcoin away. I have so many. I try to buy 2 at a time. That way, if I really get attached to one, I have another I could sell. It's kind of funny, right? So I got my 2 bit blocks. Bitcoin Burial, a Planetary Prime. This one's on a rare sat. I forget what. Yeah, it's on a vintage Nakamoto. It's cool. Well, on that note, I think we're going to wrap it up. I'm excited. I want to go make this validator video. So I'm going to start planning that. Yeah, I broke Bitcoin for everyone. I know, right? It was crazy. I can't remember if it was this weekend or last weekend, but Bitcoin actually went 3 or 4 hours without a transaction. It was just like pending. That's too long. That's too much time. And typically they take 10 minutes, but sometimes they take hours. All right, I hope you guys all have a good Wednesday. We'll be back tomorrow talking crypto. I should have some new updates regarding XEN and Bitcoin and all the haps around the crypto universe. But yeah, I'm gonna go get some sleep. Feeling pretty tired. Had a long day. But yeah, hope you have a good day. Peace out. Stay zen.